All right, boys. This is going to be the roughest, toughest season a University of Kansas team has ever faced. And to you, Captain Dean Kelley, you're the only returning regular. And you and the rest of these boys have got to carry a terrific load. Do you think you can do it? I think you can do it. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's go get them.
After losing 4 starters from its championship team, the 1953 Kansas Jayhawks were not expected to go very far. But center B.H. Bourne emerged to become a star, and Phog Allen devised a new type of defense that revolutionized basketball. It was a combination that would take Kansas right back to the national championship game.
Kansas scored 1/3 of its season's goals directly out of its pressing defense. Here's an example as Dean Kelley intercepts and goes all the way for the score.
We didn't have much size, and we won it on hustle, and our forte was the pressure. We pressed them at the half-court line, and anybody had the ball was pressurized on the guy who was about to receive the ball. So we played a pretty wicked defense.
Watch Gill break open for a layup as the Jayhawkers triumph over the nation's #1 team, 80-66, and well-wishers pour out of the stands to surround the Giant Killers.
The Jayhawks surprised everyone and won the conference title, then defeated Oklahoma A&M to advance to the Final Four.
Kansas fans, players, and coaches rejoice as the Jayhawkers earn their way to the finals in Kansas City.
I've never had as much joy or pride in a club as this one, Allen said. We haven't got the size, we haven't got the power, but we've got the heart.
The Jayhawks, rated no better than 4th in preseason Big 7 forecast, now find themselves just 2 games removed from a second consecutive national championship.
Allen's Jayhawks were paired against Washington, the 4th-ranked team in the country. In the locker room, Phog delivered one of the greatest pregame speeches of his career.
It was almost like the old Indians who sat around the fire and told the stories of past victories and battles that they had gone through and the successes they'd had.
He was a dynamic, charismatic speaker, and he had us in tears before the Washington game in the NCAA tournament. I thought I was the only one who had tears, and I looked around, and some of the others did too. He was talking about the 1940 team.
The Jayhawks scored the game's first 8 points before Washington ever got the ball across half court. It was a rout. The next night, Kansas played Indiana for the national championship.
It's a tight game all the way. It's 41-41 at halftime, and Indiana leads by 1 point as we pick up play in the 3rd quarter. Moving off the pattern, Kansas works the ball. Reich beats center B.H. Bourne, who buckets the left hook, and the Jayhawks are back on top.
In the final seconds, Kansas trailed Indiana by 1 and had a chance to win it with one final shot.
The Jayhawks have a final chance. Jerry Albert's last-ditch attempt hits near the edge of the ring, and Indiana wins the first one-point championship victory in tournament annals, 69-68. B.H. Bourne receives his Most Valuable Player award, the first in history to a member of the runner-up team.
1953 marked the end of Dean Smith's career at Kansas. 4 years earlier, he had met with Phog and announced that he wanted to be a coach.
He wanted to talk me out of it. He said, why don't you go to medical school like my son Bobby? He said, there's too many heights and depths in coaching. And yet he was helpful by asking me to stay on and help Dick Harp and him. I had the ideas, but generally they were wrong, and Dick and Doc made sure they didn't implement them.
Smith would eventually become the head coach at the University of North Carolina. In 1997, he broke the record for coaching victories held by another former Kansas player, Adolph Rupp.